Well, my name is Lohring, and I'm the founder and brewer of Notch. I've been a professional brewer since 1993, and I've always had a deep love of session beer. Session beer is a British term for beers with moderate to lower alcohol and really good flavor. The British like to drink over a long period of time. That time period is called a session, and the beers that they consume are session beers. These are the beers that I always like to brew, like to drink, and I, as a consumer, not only as a brewer, I was seeing less and less of these beers. I think session beer isn't this made-up marketing term. These beers have been around for hundreds of years, and as craft brewers in the United States, we just really haven't paid much attention to them. And so this is my opportunity to show consumers this really wildly flavorful beer that have moderate levels of alcohol.
Why do you think that session beer has been left out of the American brewing tradition?
I think it's part of our culture. When we discover something new, we like to take it to its ultimate limit. When you think about the hot sauce craze in the 90s, all right, we get hot sauce, let's make it hotter, hotter, and hotter. Rather than developing hot sauces that had flavor and depth of flavor that were moderate in heat, we just made insanity sauce. And you can see that with a lot of consumer products. We just try to push the envelope as much as possible. Where other countries that have had these products for a long time, whether it be foodstuffs, beer, or wine, etc., or alcohol, they're more comfortable with the fact that they've known this product for a long time, and they tend to not look at that, well, let's push to the extreme. They're more traditionalists, I guess. For session beer, I was told I was absolutely insane to do this. When I stepped back into the brewing world after doing it for 12 years, I took a couple years off, and I stepped back in and I told people what I was doing. They really thought I was nuts, and that the excitement of craft beer was higher and higher alcohol, more esoteric styles, and that session beer was not well known, and that because it was lower in alcohol, moderate in alcohol, that people just wouldn't understand what the session beer is all about. And that's been, I think, really proven to be a myth that consumers aren't interested. We see it here every day with how much session beer that we sell from Notch. It's a myth that excitement, creativity, and flavor only comes with high alcohol. So that's what I'm probably most proud of, is that I've been in the forefront of telling consumers that there are other options. What's most satisfying to me is the consumer said, yeah, I get it. And that session beer provides an opportunity to have 3 or 4 in my pub and walk a straight line out the door, or have one at lunch, and not go back to work and go and sleep at my desk. Or have a beer at times when you didn't think you could have one. As we get older, we have life responsibilities, family, work, the whole thing. And sometimes people just felt that beer wasn't appropriate at that time. Well, session beer is appropriate a lot of times if you think you can have it. The styles I started with were really inspired by my travels in Europe. And the first beer I came out with, Notch Session Pills, is a Czech-style lager. And when you go to the Czech Republic, they have a very strong pub culture. It's very similar to the Brits, except they drink lagers. And their session beer is called 10. 10 is a designation of the strength, the potential strength of the beer. You have 10, 12, 14. When you go to the pub, the tap beer, as they call it, it's called 10. It's wonderfully expressive, very floral, very tasty, basically Pilsner style of beer. And so that really kind of was an epiphany for me, that beer that low in alcohol, 4%, could be that wonderful. And so it was that experience in the Czech Republic that when I launched Notch, one of the first things I wanted to do was show not only a British style beer, but something that was really indicative of a great beer brewing nation in the Czech Republic. I mean, JP has been just unreal in their support with Notch. Not only here, but on premise, bars and restaurants. The Haven, Canary Square, the Midway Cafe, Vivi down the street have all been really, really supportive of Notch. And so, thanks, JP.